Hello everybody, it's Joushy Boy here, and it is that time of year again, unfortunately. It's time for our Premier League predictions for the 2026-27 season. I'm going to do horribly again, as I always do, so let's just get this over with. In 20th place, I have got Ipswich. I'm very, very certain that one of the three promoted clubs are going to finish dead last in the league. It'd be absolutely shocking if it doesn't happen. And I think Ipswich, for me, may actually be the weakest. I'm not sure why that is. I think Hull realistically probably are, but I think Ipswich, obviously the manager's left, they've got a new manager, and that's going to shake things up, especially after a promotion. It's very rare to see, and I think for the players who were there for the promotion, it's going to make them feel a little bit uneasy because they've got a new manager to work with. I think it might just be a little bit too much for them, unfortunately. It could work in their favour, you don't know. Last time they're in the Prem, obviously, Kieran McKenna couldn't keep them up, so can the new man Gary Neal do it? We'll have to wait and see, but for me, it's going to be a no, and they're going to finish 20th. In 19th place, and probably the team I am most confident will go down, is Hull City. I hope these don't go down. I do actually quite like Hull, but for me, I think they were poor in the Championship for decent spells of last season, and they probably were quite fortunate to go up in the end, but they were the best team in the playoffs by quite a bit, barring Southampton, who, did the old little Spygate thing, so they're not here. I think they've made some decent signings, and I am somewhat excited to see Hull back in the Premier League. I think it will be good fun. But unfortunately, I just don't think they will have enough quality and they will finish 19th. In 18th, I've gone with a little bit of a surprise, actually. And it's not one I'm sure I agree with. And it's Nottingham Forest. This, to be honest, is more just to keep Coventry up. Because I like Coventry. I have a bit of a soft spot for Coventry, I think. And I just want them to stay up. So I'm hoping they do, and I had to think of a team who would take the fall for them. I think Nottingham Forest just made the most sense for me. They've kind of been hanging around that zone for a while now, and I think it's either going to go one way or the other. They need to climb or they're going to fall, and I think they might just fall. In 17th place and surviving by the skin of their teeth is Coventry City. I think it is going to be a season of ups and downs. I have a feeling they might start quite well, and then as the season goes on, they're going to drop. They might get a couple of wins here and there, drop again, and it's going to be bouncing up and down on that dotted line. And I think in the end they will just about get over the line, though. Hopefully for them, because it'd be nice to see a newly promoted club, a new club in the league, up there again, like Sunderland did last season. So I'm hoping they have a season, maybe not quite as good as that, but a decent season. And then in 16th, I have one. It's quite low down. It's Fulham, and I just think obviously the manager's left now, and he's been there for quite a while, so that might just change things up a bit. And when a manager leaves, it tends to either go one of two ways, especially for those clubs maybe punching above their weight a little bit. And for me, I think it might go down instead of up. I think Marco Silva built a really good project at Fulham, but he kind of took it to all he could, I think. And I don't know if a new man is going to be able to take it any higher. So I think they're going to have quite a relatively poor season and finish 16th. But still, I'm sure they'll be happy with keeping in the league. In 15th place, I do have Sunderland. Obviously, a season not quite as good as the one before, but I do think them playing in European football as well, especially if they're wanting to have a good run, which I am confident they will. I think it is going to take a toll on their league form, and they're going to drop down to 15th because obviously they're going to prioritise trying to, win a European competition rather than getting a league finish of a few places high. So they might rest a few players if there's an important game and so on. So it kind of does make sense. And there's always going to be more injury, more fatigue. And the squad depth probably isn't that of Manchester City's, for example, is it? 14th, I have their neighbours, Newcastle. I think it's going to be a poor season for them. And I think, if anything, it could be poorer. Eddie Howe's left. I think it's his time, really. He's probably took them as far as he could. Done a brilliant job under them. But they keep losing players. They've lost all the players. And at the minute, I feel like they've not made many signings to replace those players. So it's a transitional time. I feel like it's the end of one era and maybe a transitional season for the season after, a good season for them, hopefully. So yeah, I think it was the right time for Eddie Howe. And it's going to be a poor season for Newcastle, but I think it will get better after that. 13th, I've got Crystal Palace, who I was tempted to put a bit lower, but I think I'm just going to put them up there just because of the good fortune they've had recently. I feel like they're still going to be quite happy, playing some good football. They have a good squad still, don't they? Obviously, the manager left, but he's left on a high, and I feel like after a European winning season, you can't have too poorly of a season, apart from if you're Tottenham Hotspur, so watch out, Crystal Palace. In 12th place, I have Bournemouth. A little bit of fall off from last season as well. Obviously, Iraola has gone to Liverpool, a great manager. I think long term he's going to be a big miss, and I think they're not going to reach the heights they did of last season for a long time because honestly, they might be my favourite team to watch last season. They were unbelievable just to watch them move the ball so quick. They were so exciting. That game against Man City that won Arsenal the league, they were sensational. It was such a brilliant just game of football to watch. It was unbelievable. And I'm sad we're not going to see Iraola's Bournemouth anymore. But I think a 12th place finish for them isn't too bad, all things considered. 11th Brentford, and I think this is a team I'm really unsure of. I think obviously last season was kind of a little bit of a transition season for a new manager, although it was relatively similar to Thomas Frank. I think he was the second coach or something, so he kind of knew what he was doing, and it was really good to see a club do that, to be fair. And I think I can't decide whether he's going to take them to new heights, because obviously last season they had a better season than they had under Thomas Frank before. So are they going to keep getting better every year, or are they going to fall off a little bit? For me, I think they're going to fall off just that little bit. It's not going to be a bad season by any means, but I think it's going to be a relatively comfortably mid-table season. Then in 10th place, I've got Leeds United. I think these are a really, really tricky one to predict, because honestly, I think they're either going to finish in the top half or they might go down, and there's no in between for me. Just because they made some really exciting signings. Their form towards the end of last season was unreal. They were such a good team to watch. And all things are telling me that they're going to go on to do great things this season. But we all know that is not how football works. Second season syndrome is the thing we might see with Sunderland. I'm a bit worried we might see it with Leeds as well. I hope for them they can push on. But at the same time, there is that fear in the back of my mind that I wouldn't be too surprised if they end up having a nightmare of a season, just because everybody expects them to be on the up. But I've got them 10th place. I'm being brave with that. We'll see how good of a prediction that is at the end of the season. 9th place, I have Everton. And I think, to be fair, they're another one I could say could be a little bit lower. I'm a bit unsure what Everton are going to be like. I feel like towards the end of last season, there was a little bit of unrest at Everton. Many weren't very happy with David Moyes. And my unpopular prediction, maybe for this season, that David Moyes is going to leave Everton or get sacked. And I think it's going to be the wrong decision, because I think he's doing a good job. But the fans just don't seem to like him very much. They think he's playing boring football. And unfortunately, when the fans don't like you, that's a bad thing. And it's not all fans. I'm not saying he's public enemy number one. But there's a little bit of, the football's not great type of thing. But I think he's a good manager. And I think if they give him time this season, he'll have another great season. We'll see how it goes. Everton are maybe my most uncertain prediction there. 8th, we have Brighton. I think last season was an interesting season, a mixed season for Brighton. They had that really bad spell, I'm pretty sure, but then they had a good spell after that, which kind of evened things out. I think they can push on a bit. I like the manager. He's a good young manager. He's an exciting manager. Is a European spot is a European spot too far to ask for Brighton? Maybe not. You don't know. They could push on and get it. You never know. And I think they'll be an exciting team to watch next season, Brighton. 7th place, I have Tottenham, and to be honest, they can't really argue with that too much. That's 10 places better than last season. And to be honest, the Zebra's Tottenham, I think they're going to be a little bit of a force. I'm a little bit frightened to see them. I can't put them any higher than that just because of the season they had last season. But at the same time, I am really excited to see what they will do this season. And there could be a surprise package. They could finish anywhere in the league, genuinely anywhere. They could win the league. They could go down. Who knows what is going to happen with Tottenham. 6th, I have Aston Villa, and that's not a bad finish for them at all, I think, given the fact that they are playing Champions League football. The slightly lesser teams always tend to struggle when they're playing Champions League, especially just because it's so intense. The games are so difficult, especially if you've got two legs against a really tough team. So a little bit of drop back on form in the league is going to happen, isn't it? It happened the season before last. I think it's going to happen this season too. But I think they will go far in the Champions League. 5th place, I have Iraola's Liverpool, or Dr. Octopus, either one, whatever you want to call him. It's going to be another transitional-ish season, but 5th place isn't bad for a transitional season, really, is it? I think they're going to be finding the feet, and then next season they will be exciting. It was brilliant at Bournemouth. The way his team played was so exciting. If he can get a team with the quality of Liverpool to play like that, then the rest of the league is going to be scared. 4th place, we have Chelsea, and this is a team who actually, by quite a few people, have been bidded to win the league. And I was somewhat tempted to put them up there, but I think Chelsea are just such a weird team at the minute. They've got too many players, spending so much stupid money. It's an unsafe bet to put them first. They don't feel safe. They feel like they're so unpredictable. They could do anything at any moment. And I just don't think they have a bottle. I think they're going to start strong, and I reckon come Christmas they'll be top 3. After that, they'll lose silly games and the season will kind of fizzle out. But they have no European football to play. They have nothing else to play for. So it's the league they can completely focus on. And I think that will definitely help them. And I think a 5th spot finish, 4th spot, Sorry, silly me. We'll be happy with them. Third, I have Man City, who are probably a very difficult club to predict next season because they have a new manager, Enzo Maresca. However, he was a disciple of Pep's, wasn't he? Pep taught him. He was with Pep. He looks like Pep. So I imagine the football will not be a million miles away, and that's probably one of the reasons of bringing him in. Bit of a hothead though, isn't he? He seems to get a few red cards, and so did his Chelsea team. I think they'll be good, but then I think they'll get caught out a lot more than Man City. I was tempted to put them a bit lower down, but that feels wrong. To put Man City any lower down. I can't imagine Man City not playing Champions League football. But there again, you don't know, dear. We will have to see. But I think third place is fair enough. Then second, Manchester United. I don't know how I feel about this one either. It gets so hard predicting the big clubs because they could have a stinker season. I think there's a lot to be excited about this season if you're a Man United fan. But at the same time, I think Michael Carrick is just too unproven to be properly excited for, if that makes sense. It's really tricky because I feel like obviously when he first came in he had his brilliant spell and things kind of dropped off a little bit from there. If he can bring them levels back, they could very well get a top two, or you never know, win the league. I don't know. I feel like I put them too high looking at that. They're not the Man United they once were, but there again, they have some exciting players. If Bruno Fernandes is on form, he's probably the best midfielder in the league. They just need to sort out the defensive errors, really, don't they? And they're sorted. But Carrick definitely bring a lot more stability than what we'd seen. So maybe they can push on and get a top two finish. And then top of the league, I have Arsenal doing the double, which was really tricky, but I feel like they're the only team that I can truly see winning it from that. And I don't know why that is. I can't see Arsenal doing the double, but at the same time, who else is going to step up and win that league? I'm looking, I don't think Man United will. Man City could, but I just think they'll struggle too much with a new manager. Chelsea could, but Chelsea could finish 8th as well. You don't know. I just think Arsenal are probably the best overall team. And, they've won something now. They've won the league. And I think they can do it again. Why not? Why not? And that is my prediction. I'm just going to go for it one more time in case you forgot. 20th Ipswich, 19th Hull, 18th Nottingham Forest, 17th Coventry, 16th Fulham, 15th Sunderland, 14th Newcastle, 13th Crystal Palace, 12th Bournemouth, 11th Brentford, 10th Leeds, 9th Everton, 8th Brighton, 7th Tottenham, 6th Aston Villa, 5th Liverpool, 4th Chelsea, 3rd Manchester City, 2nd Manchester United, and 1st winning the league is Arsenal. Let me know how much you disagree with that. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.